I personally have a lot of respect for Rivian CEO RJ Scaringe, but I disagree with him fundamentally on him saying he's not concerned by the Cybertruck or other electric truck manufacturers because Rivian have their own niche to themselves pretty much. Now, he's a good CEO, this CEO, but I believe he's wrong on this area. Now, here's what he said. And what I want to know is, guys, do you agree with these claims? I personally think Rivian do need to worry. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Great to have you. Welcome back, everyone else. Now, guys, I'm coming to you right now from Australia, and here in Australia, people want to buy the Rivian R1T. Now, Rivian did promise they'd bring those electric trucks to Australia, but that maybe they underestimated what's involved with moving the steering wheel and a bunch of other stuff from one side of the car to the other. It's quite a big job. And that said, there is a big market here in Australia and Thailand and New Zealand and other countries for pickup trucks. A lot of Americans think that only America loves pickups, but actually the number one most popular type of car here in Australia is pickups. So if Rivian were to bring them here, that would give them an extra little market. Not little, it's actually pretty significant. I think they'd probably own the market when it comes to electric trucks. And Australians really like the Rivian R1T. I've spoken to a lot of people who would love to own one, but unfortunately, they're currently not available to buy here in Australia. Now, RJ Scaringe isn't worried about the Cybertruck.
I have to ask you, you're about to have a competitor on the horizon here. What do you think of the Cybertruck?
I think if you were to think of like the Venn diagrams of customers, there's probably not a lot of overlap in terms of, but I think it's great that a product like that exists in the world. As I said a moment ago, you know, if we really truly want to electrify everything that's produced, you know, and to give this some scale, there's 1.5 billion cars on the planet. We as a planet produce about 90 million a year. Customers want lots of different things, so we need to have a choice, we need to have variety. So it's great to see something that's so different that's there. And you know, I hope there's lots of different choices that give lots of different types of customers. Often in the context of like the tech space, we think of a single winner or maybe a small set of winners. In transportation, by definition, there needs to be many winners. So there needs to be 20 to 25 successful auto manufacturers building electric connected vehicles. And so our success doesn't require someone else's failure and vice versa. And it's just very different than when you think about, you know, traditional big tech where there's one or two really highly concentrated winners.
I think he's aware that Tesla do have 2.1 million actual pre-orders. Now, I know they're pre-orders and not all of them are going to actually come through. But even if Tesla only got 25% of those orders, that's still more than 500,000. That's a big number. So, of course, RJ Scaringe says they're in different niches, different sectors essentially, but I don't think that's really true. Now, I know the Rivian R1T is smaller. It's got a smaller bed than the Cybertruck, but they're both pickup trucks. They're both electric. The Cybertruck's a bit bigger, but it's not massively bigger. So I think they're probably in a similar segment. However, RJ Scaringe says he's not worried. At a Code 2023 tech conference in California hosted by Vox Media, Scaringe shared why he doesn't believe Tesla's electric Cybertrucks will have an effect on the Rivian R1T. His perspective hinges on the distinct market positioning of the Cybertruck and the R1T. Scaringe believes the customer base for the Cybertruck is different, in fact, significantly different than that for the R1T, and that these two vehicles essentially serve different niches within the market. Now, to be fair, they do look completely different, but they're both electric. But he said this: if you were to think of the Venn diagrams with customers, there's probably not a lot of overlap, he said at the conference, according to Yahoo Finance. We'd be inclined to agree, as there's no denying the bold, futuristic Cybertruck is aimed at a different clientele than the more practical, no-nonsense Rivian. I'm not convinced the Rivian is practical and no nonsense. There's a lot of luxurious features put into that. Look, the gear tunnel, there's heaps of details. I don't see the Rivian R1T as being this kind of practical, no nonsense work truck like he's kind of proposing that it is. In fact, it's a really nice car. It's more of a luxury pickup truck if you ask me. Now, I think it's in many ways very similar to the Cybertruck. Now, I know Cybertruck, stainless steel, it's bigger, longer bed, looks completely different, but still, there's definitely some carryover. And I'm going to say that a lot of people have pre-ordered both of them and are waiting to see what they're going to choose and go with. But a lot of people who pre-ordered the Cybertruck, like let's say tomorrow Tesla said, we're canceling 2.1 million pre-orders. All of them, we're not going to make a Cybertruck anymore. I'm going to guess a lot of those people would go, okay, and then go and buy a Rivian R1T. Even if only 2% did that, that would still be a huge amount of sales for Rivian, only 2%. With that in mind, Scaringe clarified the statement was not to discredit Tesla's efforts. I think it's great that a product like that exists in the world, he said. If we truly want to electrify everything that's produced, to give us some scale, there's 1.5 billion cars on the planet. We as a planet produce 90 million a year. And that's not actually true. We don't produce 90 million a year. It's more like about 75 million. But I guess if you include commercial vehicles, it could be 90 million. So Rivian sound confident. They sound confident that the R1T is going to do really well. But remember, it is not cheap, the R1T. I mean, it starts at around $80,000. And Rivian built just under 25,000 vehicles in 2022. But they are on track this year to do significantly better and double that number. Tesla has, of course, not yet produced, well, not yet sold a single Cybertruck. They might not do so for at least a couple of months. And we don't even know what the specifications will be yet. But considering Tesla's advancements in terms of their clear manufacturing advantages over Rivian, now the other big advantage Tesla have is cost. Why is cost an advantage? Well, first of all, Tesla have now years of experience producing EVs at large scale. If you've got more than 2 million pre-orders, you can place massive orders with your suppliers. If you order 10 times more products, you get the price at a significantly lower figure. We know that. CEOs of automotive companies have confirmed that on numerous occasions within the past 12 months. This is not speculation based on some Tesla fanboyism. It's simply fact. Rivian can't do that. If you're only making 50,000 trucks a year, that's how many orders you might place, half those orders and half later. That just doesn't give you the purchasing power you need to be able to bring the prices down. And remember, Tesla does make their own batteries as well. It's going to cost them less money than Rivian, who have to buy the batteries from someone else. However, Tesla plan on making 375,000 pickup trucks per year. That's their annual target. I'm going to guess if they could make that many next year, they would, but I don't think they can. But the point here is that's a lot more than 50,000. So Tesla will have some definite cost advantages, and Rivian will have to try and kind of combat those, which is going to be difficult for what is essentially a smallish startup to do. Now, I've got a lot of time for RJ Scaringe. I think he's actually quite an intelligent guy, and he's one of the best CEOs in the industry, along with Elon Musk himself, and I think Jim Farley's also a very good CEO. So I do think Rivian will succeed. In fact, I hope they do. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.